What is up? It is February 1st, Saturday, 9:23 a.m. in the lovely city of Chicago. And it's another video diary. It's been a minute since I did this, few days at least. Been just chugging along with the reactions. I've been streaming, been busy with Harry Mack work, just pushing Anomaly tour, and that's a little bit of what I want to talk about today. Not the Anomaly tour specifically, but the most fun word game that only I get to play. No one else in the world gets to play this word game. And you know me, I love words, I love games, I love Harry Mack freestyles, I love anthropology, which comes into play here as well. Just the human element, the community building aspect of all of this, the collaboration. It's so many things all into one, and it's pressure, time sensitive. My heart rate's up. I'm laser focused. Probably one of the most consistent sources of flow state for me personally, because whenever I'm in that zone, I'm in the zone. Nothing can really take me out. Because it means a lot to me. It's very important. Of course, I'm talking about filtering the words that come in through the QR code at a Harry Mack live show. Because I'm side of stage in some of the live show videos, you can kind of see me side of stage, just head bopping, hands up, or whatever. One of my, either my Bulls hat or whatever hat y'all know me in, might be peeking out from that next to Harry on some of the shots. Anyway, before the show, these shows, at least for Odyssey, they averaged like 1,200, 1,500 people, right? And generally at that number, at least 1,000 people or so show up. Jazz starts his set 30 minutes before Harry gets on. Jazz does his intros like, hey, what's up? Welcome to the Odyssey show, yada, yada. Hypes the crowd a little. And then he's like, got a QR code for you on the screen behind, right? At that moment, I've already done my checks. Does the QR code work? Submit my test submissions, scan it on my screen. I have a little screen that has our ATEM connected so I can see all the different inputs, outputs. I change the visuals as well. So it'll be like a visual, and then Jazz says put up the QR code. I'll change it to the visual. After the QR is done, I'll change it back to to Harry's logo, to whatever else we need on the screen, right? I'm the one tapping buttons and making sure the visual element on the back screen is coordinating with the rest of the show. But once the QR code goes up, people start scanning their phones, scanning the QR code with their phones, and then it asks you a word and a topic. And at that moment, my heart is just pumping because I'm just waiting for the first word to come through. Because between it going on screen and the first word coming through, there's always a good 30 seconds to a minute, right? Because people need to pull out their phones, they need to scan it, they need to read, put the word, then hit send, right? So the quickest possible person already knows what's about to happen. They're already ready and whatever. So in that moment, I'm like, oh shit, first word, better come through. Then the first word comes through. It hasn't happened yet where I've put it on screen and no words came through. Other problems and issues might happen. It's technology, it's connections, it's internet, and this and that. But if the QR goes up on screen and I'm waiting for the words, it's always come through. Fingers crossed that keeps happening, knock on wood, whatever good luck scheme you have, do it for me. Then the words start coming through one by one, quick as hell, right? It's just like a list on an Excel sheet. Boom, 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 boom. Words coming through. The whole behind the scenes tech is crazy too. Harry figured out all that basically. Which is an underrated part of his success, is obsession with gear and process and making sure things are the highest quality possible in a new way. And anyway, the words are coming through. I let about 200 to 300 words come through, right? Because we have 30 minutes till the show starts, and I got to be done before the show starts. Because I got to switch up to another visual and whatever. There might be a little buffer time before Harry actually starts going off the words during the show. But I like to get it between that 30 minutes, right? So for the first 4 to 5 minutes, I let the words come through, 200 to 300 words come through, randomize them, randomize the first ones. If you're behind that, likely you won't get in. There's a chance you might get in, but likely you won't get in. Randomize the first 200-300, and then we got the words just lined up. I scroll through. One, if Harry's used it on tour before, it's getting deleted. If it's just inappropriate in a way that won't be cool or funny, right? Like a little, we can be a little edgy. I'm not gonna, make it PG for the hip hop show, but if it's just inappropriate in a way, like, for example, in what show was it? I forgot what show it was, but it was somewhere in Australia. One of the topics sent was how to suck a D. And I started dying. It's comedy. I forgot who said that, but like that's not gonna go through. We're not gonna put that up on the board for Harry to freestyle about that topic. And that's why we have myself, or that's why someone like myself is needed to make sure it's not just full randomized, because people are drunk, having a good time, it's silly, joking, whatever. It makes sense and it's funny. There's no hate, but also we got to make it the best show possible. I also have a very deep knowledge of Harry's catalog and what words he knows more about, what he doesn't, and not just a deep knowledge of his catalog, but I'm a good friend of his that has had conversations about many different aspects of life with him on a regular basis. We've traveled the world together. We've experienced so many experiences together with our team, our tour family. So I have a good idea of what words and topics he might have stories about, or he might be able to go deeper into. I also love words and just language in general. So it's cool for me to think about what word is good from like a complex situation, like it's 4 syllables and it's cool and whatever, or what word might be easily chantable by the audience if Harry throws it out to them. So it's like 2 syllables work best for like a call and response type thing. That comes into play. A simple word, but is not commonly given. Like, for example, he had if at the Austin Energy Exchange 2022. He had the come through somewhere. I forgot where that was. But like these words that are different, that are simple everyday words, but it's not a word that, like, you don't think of it as a word. You just use it when you need it. But for example, an item like a mouse or a phone, those are words you might think of because they're items. But words that are just strictly language based, like if, the, and these types of things, they're not generally thought of first by, your regular Omegle bars, Gorilla bars people. But sometimes in the audience of a Harry Mack show, people get creative, and that's what we love. And yeah, it's also really cool to see what words are most given in that environment as well. For example, like in Omegle bars, Gorilla bars, y'all have heard onomatopoeia and pineapple. These are randomly common words that you wouldn't guess would be common. But in that scenario, like serendipity or serendipitous is commonly input into the list. What else? Like oxymoron is another one that's thrown fairly frequently. And just stuff like that, the different words. I gotta maybe look and do some data analysis on submissions and see what words are actually the most common versus what complicated words are common and this and that. That would be cool to do and see. But just off the top of my mind, those 2 words come to mind as the most common. He goes through maybe 10 to 15, maybe pushes 20 if he's like really going at it and going quickly, because a lot of the times he'll scheme like 8 to 16 bars on a word. And so, not that the whole set isn't just word after word after word after word after word. It's a portion. So yeah, he goes through maybe 9 to 15 words in that section, and then there was certain shows where we did 3-word songs. Those also come from that. Those I also try to put words that somewhat go together, but maybe more abstract, right? So it is random, but there's some logic behind it. At least the tone of the word might make sense, or 2 of the words might connect in a way in my head that could make a connection. Sometimes Harry makes the connection that I make. Sometimes he goes in a completely different direction. The flow of the words, the first word, you want to get people to be able to say it loudly with Harry. You want to make sure that it's not just complicated word after complicated word after complicated word, bam, bam, bam. You want to make sure that it's not just straight nouns or straight this or that. So the variety comes into play. What he's used in the past comes into play. And so it's just a fun little game, fun little 15, 20 minutes that I'm just locked in, filtering these words. And then the last one is, topics. He gets words and topics. So topics are also something I'll choose, and I need to mix and match words versus topics. This is all Odyssey and Energy Exchange. Anomaly, we'll see. We're still thinking about what the show's going to be, and that'll be Harry's, it'll be based on Harry's vision. So, but there will be some sort of word submission process, and I'm on tour, and that's my main job, one of my main jobs at the show. So it'll still be somewhat applicable, this conversation. So I just wanted to talk about it with y'all. The topics always are chosen, like if it's the topic song section that he's going to do the topic song, I always try to find the topic that might get him in the most deep, either emotional bag, storytelling bag, philosophical bag, things that he can really expand on and tell stories, or maybe have lived emotions of the topic through stories in his life. And that's kind of where my mind goes to. What can he talk about with this topic? What has he lived through that maybe relates through this topic? What this and that. So it's very personalized to him, but it filters through me from the audience. So it's still a very random situation. And I'll still throw words that might be struggling to him. If I know he doesn't know about it, like if it's like an NFL player or a soccer player, like most likely I'm not going to give it to him unless there was like some random interaction or some random video or some random conversation we had where I know he knows about that person and it's relevant to the city that we're in, which also comes into play. City-specific, country-specific words and phrases I try to throw in there for the audience, but only if I know Harry's knows about it, / I've talked with him about it, so I know that if it does come up on screen, he's not just he'll still do it fine, but if it's something related to the city, we don't want it on the screen, and he just completely ignores its relevance to why it's on the screen or why the people care about it. That's something we try to avoid, or at least I try to avoid, because I don't want to put him in a position where everyone's excited to hear him talk about this topic that's important to their city, and then he doesn't say anything about it being relevant to the city and just kind of does his basic like shoot the shot like Steph Curry bars he does for basketball, although he has deeper basketball bars. You know what I'm saying. We don't want surface level on something that's deeper than that on screen. So those are just a lot of nuance, and probably nuance that I haven't even talked about right now, but I just wanted to let y'all know, man, that's it. It's what gets me excited to go on tour. One of the things, I mean, traveling the world, going new cities and this and that is amazing. But this game that I get to play, that no one else gets to play, is just another highlight of my job, and it's really a blessing that I'm able to do it. So wanted to talk about it with y'all. Appreciate everyone tuning in and watching these video diaries. It's cool to have a consistent viewership of these. So leave your comments, leave your thoughts. I love connecting with y'all. More reactions to come, more freestyle streams to come, and we're going on tour. So these video diaries are going to be the tour-based content that I drop for y'all, because reactions and stuff are, it's gonna have to stop while we're traveling. But these, I can just go on my phone or go on a camera or whatever, talk about it, talk about tour, talk about the shows, talk about the cities. I'm excited for it, so let's keep these going. And appreciate y'all coming through. Peace.